Hello and welcome back to Snow. And our job is to make it to North Aegis to do a delivery. For a second I was worried because physics was, well, physicsy. So, let's see if I can actually, I can just read this. It made me not need to do what I thought, which was bring the ER-87. Okay, it's like, okay, I'm actually surprised I wasn't expecting this to work. I thought I was going to be stuck. However, still need the yard because it's bringing some fuel and I want to top up the tanks before going into North Aegis. And I also wanted to show what I figured out. Now, if you have good balance and driving skills, you can drive up on these rocks. From the rocks in the middle there. I so wish there was a contract called log crossing to the village where you could bring some medium logs here to finish this. And I just recently found this, and I was annoyed that it took me so long because, you know, the mud triangle pit of doom from right here to here seems like it's more sticky than right here, which is kind of annoying. I guess the idea is you bring the trailer through this way, and that's why the mud's so bad here. Anyway, I just found a bypass, and I have in this route with small trucks, like 2070, something that size. I can't remember because it's been a while if I actually used the 2070 to take the shortcut, but I have with the Aegis 6436, and you can just drive around the super mud. I personally think that it should be getting less resistant as you get closer to the village instead of just this super mud area, but that's just me. Anyway, so also hopefully I can hitch up to the trailer for the fuel station. I can't remember whether you can do that with the crane attached or not. There may have to be a cut in the video if I have to drive all the way back to the garage because you can't. But hopefully that's not an issue. Because I don't think I can make it all the way to the trailer for the rocket without having the fuel station. So we at least have to do that. And there's one rock slide I think I'm going to have to clear. Also, we're going to try and not spend a lot of time on North Aegis because thankfully it's not really necessary for launching the rocket, so that's good. Also, if you need to deliver cargo to North Aegis, the yard laughs at this mud area. Now granted, you will potentially fall through on your second trip, but you're good for one trip. So if you need to bring cargo, the yard can definitely do it. So I just thought I'd point that out. Get the roof wrap, get to the Tega. And now we'll just get the Tega out of the, we'll just get the yard out of the way. Also, that was interesting, 316. I couldn't have planned that if I tried. For God so loved the world he gave his only son, and that whoever believes in him shall have eternal life. that was completely unintentional. But I just thought I'd mention that as a religious person. I was like, oh, that kind of worked out. Anyway, let's go go get that trailer. Now, I haven't tried crossing here with the Bottega balloon tires, so I don't know if that would make a difference here. Although I have noticed that once you sink a frame of a vehicle up to it in mud, because the mud's deep enough, Bottega tires don't necessarily help you as much as if you have clearance between the mud and your vehicle frame. Also, I have the race suspension for this. I should have gone and put 50-inch tires and race suspension on before doing this, but I completely forgot. Shouldn't be a big problem for what we're doing, but I'm kind of a little annoyed with myself that I forgot that. But anyway, I was kind of just in a hurry after how long it took me to do the setup for this video. Basically, the reason you didn't get a video last week is because I got more hours at my job, but that meant the setup that usually happens, and maybe even the video recording that happens during the week, didn't happen. And I was just so exhausted it didn't really happen on the weekend either. So that's why things are bad, and it seems that the hours are starting to change. So see what is not Richter scale. It's not. Okay, it's. No, that's the garage one. That's. Okay, this is the one we need to do. And so, here's the trailer. There are some icy roads, so this isn't completely bad that I brought chain tires, but it's not really going to help much for the route I'm planning on taking. You can go up and around the edge of the map, but there's one place where there's a chance you'll roll over, so I'm not going to do that. Okay, it does. Yay! Okay, good. I was worried that that would be a problem. And so, this should be an easy drive. There's not anything too crazy on the road that I think. Not really a fan of this rock obstacle here, mainly because you'll be driving trucks high off the ground with big tires to get through the deep mud and snow, and then they throw a obstacle that's essentially designed to potentially tip you over where you need a wide and low to the ground truck, which I'm just not exactly a fan of. But anyway, let's see if we can get. This is probably where not having that race suspension is coming back to cause a problem. We may have had the clearance. Either that or I just need to take a better path, which is what the answer is. So we got over that end. Up here is the one thing I wish they honestly removed, because I don't know if they were actually thinking about the fact that 3 semi-trailers are going to come through this area when they put this little rock obstacle here, and personally I don't think it should be here because of the semi-trailers, but looks like a nice little slalom. The problem is when you're bringing the trailers. I mean, if you wanted this to be here, maybe you just remove the rock by my right front tire, and that way it's kind of a straight shot. I guess you could do that. This trailer will kind of go through fine. It's more the specialty rocket trailer and the trailer for Top Secret that are going to potentially have an issue there. And that's why. And because, let's see. Well, actually, I can just get that off cabin with my R87. I was going to say, let me grab the contract for clearing that rock slide because that's going to make it a lot easier. But we'll just take this bypass and worry about that. Won't worry about that with another vehicle. And so we can take this little shortcut and go up and around on the detour. Now, I can't remember if the detour is big enough that I could take the trailer on that detour and not have to worry about the rock slide over there. It's been a while since I've played, but I know we should definitely be able to take it with this trailer, so. And I think here's our detour. Yep, that's our detour. Okay, I forgot about this little point here, but yeah, the plan is to go down here and then cross. Believe, even though there doesn't look like it, either that or there's a crossing point like right here. I forget exactly where it is. But that race suspension, yeah, may have helped. Also, the mud tires may have actually helped here, just for low ground pressure. Yeah, I forgot this. Also, potentially not having the crane could also help. So, well, shouldn't be too hard. I was hoping to like go out wide and then steer into the gap where there isn't any ice chunks for me to have to push out of the way. Let's see, because May, and you know purposely that there is nothing on the other side for you to attach a winch to precisely because of this. So now, because I forgot about this, I didn't think about it, but you could go down, and actually that's I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down right here instead of trying to make it to where I put that mark. So we just need to get ourselves out of here. Oh, and not run into the rock as we're backing out also. That would help too. here we are to make the delivery. And it looked like it worked out just right. We barely had enough fuel to get this job done. Now, looking back, I definitely would have got the race suspension. I didn't realize that there was going to be so many issues with ground clearance once I got to this island. I thought, if I can just get to the river, the rest of it is smooth sailing. Apparently not. So just some things to point out. One, I wish either this was an oversized shipping container or they had put that trailer right here. I personally think it should have been right here. And and the one that I was having drama with, I would have loved that to be buried more into the ground. Also, this rock. I wish it weren't here, because it may not be immediately obvious that what you need to do is drive over the water to get the trailer across here. Unless they had in mind a different route. By the way, whatever you do, don't try to go this way. This will just not, it's not fun. You don't want to do it. Oh, here's the trailer you need to get for to exchange to clear a roadblock, so that's nice. But I was actually so stubborn that I got the trailer all the way down here before realizing that you're not supposed to take the trailer that way. You're supposed to come down here. I honestly thought there was still a path winding through the rocks. I forgot that it's actually just rocky here. Which brings us to the alternate path you can do to complete this job, which is that you can come out here, and I think you can kind of wind your way up here to get here, or just, have a truck that has better ground clearance than the Taiga, which is probably the lesson here. But anyway, now that we've got, I remembered this was here. It's just I didn't think it was going to be that much of a drama for a big truck. I kind of only really remember this as a place where you can get a scout vehicle in the trouble. I should have known with the low ground clearance the Taiga has that it could potentially have a problem here. But anyway, thank you for watching.